Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WD Broadcasting Network here at USA International Speedway for race 11 out of 12 in the Mid-South iRacing Tour. A good field of super late models set for 25 or 75 laps at the USA International Speedway. So we are getting ready with our qualifying session, and then we will be going green flag racing. So on track right now out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, the number 9, Alex Sexton, coming to the green flag for his first qualifying lap. The USA International Speedway, now defunct in real life. Unfortunate, but luckily on the iRacing.com simulator, we can see and race at USA. So Alex rolling out of turn number 4 for the completion of his first lap. It's going to be a 20.362. That puts Alex second quick. Carter Russo in the 21 on top of the board currently. Also on the racetrack, the number 2C of Drew Chance as he pulls it pit side. Alex now rolling through 3 and 4 for his second qualifying lap. It's a 5:14. He's going to slow it down a little bit. On the racetrack now, the number 10 machine of Nick Smith. As Smith in the MK Performance, iRacing.com, RKM Setup Shop, number 10 Camry. First lap time was a 20.642. Second lap, 7.23. Slows it down just a little bit. Preston Boers in the 29 makes his qualifying runs. He's currently in the 4th spot. Times in the top 4 very, very close, all separated by just under 4/100ths of a second. Daryl Mays now in the 21, also on the speedway. 5th quick currently. As now the 00 machine of Caden Tufts, also making his qualifying laps. Kenneth Cucko in the 71 on the racetrack. Cooper Ward in the 99 also pulling out onto the racetrack on the exit of turns 1 and 2. Heading down the back straightaway, we saw Cooper Ward last week at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. As Ward drifts up the track through 1 and 2 as he heads down the back straightaway. Not liking that one. He's going to take a moment to warm those tires up and go at it again for his second timed lap. As he heads down the front straightaway here. Ward into turns 1 and 2. First lap time of 22.167. He's 11th place on the board currently, but obviously the first lap wasn't a good lap. So second lap time for Ward as he heads down the front straightaway here. At the line, it's going to be a 20.803, so it puts him 9th quick. 11 cars making the call for qualifying so far, as we have a minute left before we get these guys going green flag racing. Track is pretty empty right now, so we're going to be right back, and we will see you guys at race time. As we are back in the qualifying session, the top 5 running order as of right now with 15 seconds left. Carter Russo in the 21 on the pole. Alex Sexton second. Drew Chance in the 2C. Third, Preston Boers in the 29. Fourth, rounding at the top 5 is Daryl Mays in the 21. 17 cars here tonight at the USA International Speedway as qualifying comes to a close. And we are getting ready to send these guys green flag racing. As on the pole, it's going to be the Signworks Fleet Graphic number 21 of Carter Russo. To his outside, the number 9 machine, the P1 Performance Graphics by WD out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. It's Alex Sexton. Drew Chance in the 2C with South Alabama Speedway and Graphics by WD on the number 2. To his outside, it'll be the Monster Energy number 29 of Preston Boers. In the 5th spot, Daryl Mays in the 21. Dustin Smith in the 6th spot. Stephen Chun in the 84 is going to roll off 7th. Caden Tufts in the 00 is going to be in the 8th spot. 9th will be the number 10 of Nick Smith, is outside the 99 of Cooper Ward. Mark Keatman in the 2 will roll off 11th. Mike Ashby in the other 00 car, rolling off 12th. Jesse Henderson in the 28, going to be 13th. 14th is Jimmy Gauker in the number 2J. Kenneth Cucko in the 71. 15th, 16th is David Lux, and I believe that's going to round out the field. As the field is getting ready to roll off here at USA. 75 laps of green flag racing. Well, hopefully green flag racing. If you were tuned in last night to the Short Track Super Series at Hickory, there was quite a few cautions in that one. But hopefully the guys in the Mid-South iRacing Tour are able to get some green flag laps in here at the 3/4 of a mile USA International Speedway. As the cars are rolling, or getting ready to roll, sorry. And we will be going green in just a moment. Carter Russo picking up quick time in the qualifying session. That'll help out his points battle with the number 2 of Mark Keatman. As the cars pace through the first set of corners here, you see a lot of guys swerving back and forth, trying to get the tires warm as much as they can. And in just a few moments, we're going to be releasing these guys for 75 laps of racing. As the lights are off on the iRacing.com pace car, and it's going to be Carter Russo and Alex Sexton leading us to the green. Carter Russo already picking up 2 wins on the season, coming back on April 20th at Five Flags and May 25th at Southern National. So Russo already off to a successful start in this season, and here again tonight on the pole, as it will be Russo and Sexton leading us to the green. As we see the pace car roll off, and here comes the field. Russo going nice and early. He's going to have the advantage as they head into turns 1 and 2. Sexton right behind him, able to get down in front of Drew Chance in the number 2. Chance with Preston Boers in the 29 to his outside. Boers with a big wiggle coming out of the second corner. Chance is going to be able to get the position way high into turns 3 and 4. Dustin Smith, Stephen Chun in the 84 going for a slide. He's down in the grass. I believe we will stay green for the moment. And we are. Green flag still out here at USA. Caden Tufts picking up the pass for the 5th spot on the 33 of Dustin Smith. Smith looking back to the inside as they roll through turns 3 and 4. They're going to be side by side into the line, but Caden Tufts able to hold off the 33 out for the moment. As contact, Dustin Smith into Tufts, and Tufts coming to a stop up in the top of turns 1 and 2, and we'll be under caution for the first time here tonight. As we'll take a quick replay of what happened right there between Dustin Smith and Caden Tufts. As you see right here, they're heading down the front straightaway, and Smith peeking to the inside and just gets in too hot, snags the left rear of Caden Tufts, And around goes Tufts on lap number 3. So not a good start for Caden Tufts in the 00. Tufts able to pick up the win a couple weeks ago at Hickory Motor Speedway back on June the 1st. Mark Keatman in the number 2, the points leader, able to sweep the last 2 races. Mark Keatman coming from the 10th place spot on the grid. He's already up into the 7th spot, so watch out late in this race for the number 2 car to make a charge. As under caution for the first time here tonight, Cardorusso able to get the early jump on Alex Sexton, but Sexton able to fall into the 2nd spot and retain his 2nd place starting spot. So it should be another good restart between Sexton and Russo in just a couple laps. As while we're under caution here for the first time tonight, we'll take a quick chance to thank the sponsors of the league and the WD Broadcasting Network, all the guys that keep this one going. I'd like to thank Graphics by WD. If you need an iRacing paint, head over to those guys, or that guy, and he will get you hooked up. A few of the Graphics by WD cars on the track here tonight. The number 9 of Alex Sexton, the number 2 of Drew Chance, as well as the 00 of Mike Ashby, and the 28 of Jesse Henderson. So make sure you check out Graphics by WD on Instagram if you're looking for a new iRacing paint. Also, Co-Heating and Air Conditioning out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Thank you for all the help to the WD Broadcasting Network. MK Performance, you see it on the back of a few of these cars, including Cardorusso in the 21, has MK Performance on the number 21 Camaro, right there on the back bumper. Another big thanks to P1 Performance and all those guys do for the iRacing community. As a lot of people putting in a lot of hard work and effort to put on these super late model events on the iRacing.com simulator. And folks, if you're interested in a pretty sweet new super late model event, mark your calendars, November 19th, a few months away from the first ever virtual Kalamazoo Clash. Once again, November 19th will be the first annual virtual Kalamazoo Clash. It'll be down at the Lanier National Speedway in Georgia. 100 laps in the super late models. Going to be a great action-packed event. You won't want to miss it. But the pace car lights are off, and we are getting ready to go back green once again here at USA. As you see the field pacing through turns 3 and 4, right behind the pace car. Pace car is going to pull off onto the pit road. Cardorusso goes nice and early once again. Alex Sexton able to follow suit. Chance going to have a battle to the 3rd spot. Preston Boers in the 29 able to hang it right up there on the outside. Mike Ashby out back in the 00. Going around, the caution does fly. As Ashby made some contact going into the corner. We'll take a look at what happened there. Looks like he's racing side by side with the number 2 of Jimmy Gauker. As Ashby looks like he might have came down there on the 2 of Gauker. Take another look at that from the Graphics by WD drone camera. It's right here. Going through turns 1 and 2, you get a good head-on look of it here. It looks like Ashby might have expected the 2 to be just a little bit farther down on the racetrack and got the 2 of Jimmy Gauker in the door. And Ashby went for a slide in turns 1 and 2. Back up front, Top 5 running order currently sits at Carter Russo, Alex Sexton, Preston Boers, Drew Chance, and Cooper Ward in the 99, rounding out the top 5. 15 cars on the racetrack here tonight at the USA International Speedway. As Mike Ashby in the 00 coming down into the pit lane, grabbing a fresh set of Hoosier tires. Going to put all 4 rubbers on the South Alabama Speedway 00. Ashby involved in that second caution, went for a big slide in turns 1 and 2. He's going to have to put some new right side tires on and left sides. As Ashby out of the pit lane here. Next week in the Mid-South iRacing Tour, we head to Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for the conclusion of the spring season. It's going to be a tight points battle between Carter Russo and Mark Keatman. It's going to come down to a final race. You won't want to miss it here on the graphic or here on the WD Broadcasting Network. As the light's still on the iRacing.com pace car. Don't forget, folks, if you like what you're watching, you're enjoying the iRacing content, the broadcasting, the jokes that come along with me stuttering every 3 words, anything you want, anything nice that you want to say in the comments, let us know your thoughts, opinions, who you got to win. How your day was doesn't really matter to us. We're just honored to have you here. And we should be going back green in 1 lap or so at USA. And the lights do indeed go off on the iRacing.com pace car. The field's going to double them up coming into turns 1 and 2 here. And once again, it'll be Carter Russo and Alex Sexton leading us to the green flag. Preston Boer is able to get around Drew Chance in the 2C for the 3rd spot. As Boer is in the money spot here at the USA International Speedway, 3rd place is a really good opportunity to jump up into the 2nd spot if the guy in 2nd doesn't get the restart he was looking for. As we'll watch the field roll out of turns 3 and 4, Russo with a good jump once again. Alex Sexton also cleared again as Preston Boer is in the 29, able to get in front of Drew Chance. Chance going for a slide, and around goes the number 2C of Drew Chance. Everybody able to make it out without any contact, but Drew Chance going for a slide on the exit of turns 1 and 2. Is right here, another view of it. Right here, Drew Chance going into the corner, slides up just a little bit, along with the 99, and both the cars go around on the contact from the 99's left or right front to the 2C's right rear. And that is going to put us under yellow once again for a 3rd time here tonight at 5 Flags. At USA. That is. Whew. That was a little bit of a blunder there. During this brief caution break, we're going to go to our Be Right Back screen. Everybody go grab a drink, grab some popcorn. You won't want to miss the remainder of this race, but we will be right back on the WD Broadcasting Network. Alrighty, folks, we're back. Still under yellow here at the USA International Speedway. Lights are going to stay on the iRacing.com pace car for another lap. It's a pretty caution-filled event here tonight so far at the USA International Speedway, but stay tuned because we are less than halfway in this race, so these guys are going to get it settled down and put on a good show for the fans. Carter Russo still able to maintain the lead over the 9 of Alex Sexton. These two guys up front getting some good restart practice so far in this event. As the lights go off on the iRacing.com pace car, and we're going to be sending these guys back to green once again. As you saw contact right there from the 2 of Mark Keatman. Clipped the right rear of Preston Boers. Don't know if something happened in the practice session earlier today, or if those guys are just not paying attention so much, but a little bit of contact under yellow. As the field hanging back from the pace car just a little bit. Carter Russo trying to get as big of a jump as he can over the 9 of Alex Sexton. As the pace car pulls into the pit area, it's going to be Russo and Sexton. Sexton with a better restart that time, but Boers in the 29 going to be right there to capitalize. Sexton not quite clear. He's going to be able to get the nose down in front of Preston Boers. But side by side for the 4th spot, Mark Keatman to the inside of Daryl Mays in the 21. Keatman with the advantage rolling through turns 3 and 4 out of turn 4. Keatman able to hold off as David Lux in the 0-4 right behind the 21 machine now. Caden Tufts in the 00 is also making the bid for the 6th spot. As contact made. Lux making contact with the outside wall and around goes Caden Tufts hard into the outside wall. As that was a big impact there for Caden Tufts in the 00. As it all started going into turn 3, it looks like David Lux made some contact with the outside wall and got a little bit sideways, and hard into the outside wall goes the 00 of Caden Tufts. A big slide for Caden Tufts in the 00, involved in his 2nd accident of the night. We saw him go for a slide earlier in the race. Mark Keatman able to slip by the 21 of Daryl Mays for the 4th spot. Move Mays back to 5th in the 21 machine. Sorry, the 21M. As the field gets the 1 lap to go signal. And once again, it'll be Carter Russo and Alex Sexton leading us to the green. Preston Boers in the 3rd spot, Mark Keatman in the 4th spot. Then it'll be Daryl Mays, Dustin Smith, Jesse Henderson, Kenneth Gucko, Jimmy Gauker, Stephen Chun. Rounding out the top 10. As the field stacked into turns 3 and 4. Pace car's going to pull off of the USA International Speedway, and it'll be Russo and Sexton. Russo with another good restart. Sexton might have missed a shift there. He's going to have Preston Boers looking to the inside in turns 1 and 2. Boers challenging Alex Sexton for the 2nd spot. Down the back straightaway, they're going to be side by side. Dead even through the center of the straightaway. Sexton drifting up the racetrack just a little bit. give Boers the position out of turns 3 and 4, but they're still side-by-side. Sexton on the top. Mark Keatman looking to make it a 3-car battle for the second spot. Boers drifting up the track just a little bit in the center of the corner. That's going to allow Alex Sexton to continue rolling down the backstretch. Boers might have had a sideways moment there. You saw him shoot to the bottom side of the racetrack. That's going to allow Alex Sexton and Mark Keatman to get by. Move Alex back into the second spot. Mark Keatman into the third spot. Just behind them, Jesse Henderson looking to the inside of Stephen Chun for the 8th position. Chun with a little bit of damage on the blue and orange, number 84. As Mark Keatman right on the back bumper of Alex Sexton. Looking for the second spot here on lap 28 out of 75. As Jesse Henderson with a big slide down the back straightaway, able to hang on to it, but that's going to allow Stephen Chun in the 84 to get to the top side and get the position back. Here comes the 2 machine of Jimmy Gowker. Mark Keatman up front, able to pick up the position on the number 9 of Alex Sexton. As Keatman now pulling away from Alex into the number 9. As Mark Keatman and Carter Russo 1 and 2 in points. Going to be having a battle for the lead. 3 wide in the back. Jimmy Gowker in the 2, way up the racetrack. Mike Ashby, the 00, able to pick up the spot into the top 10. Up in front of them, I believe it's Daryl Mays looking at the inside of Preston Boers for the 6th spot, or 5th spot. Side by side down the front straightaway. Mays with the advantage at the line. Boers drifting up the track just a little bit. That's going to allow Mays to clear Preston Boers, give the 5th spot to Daryl Mays into turns 3 and 4. Single file through the field. Carter Russo in the 21 in the lead by just under half a second. Mark Keatman in the 2, slowly closing the gap behind him. Keatman in the 2, just about a 10th faster than Carter Russo that time around. We'll take a look at the times this time. Keatman once again just a little bit quicker, so Mark Keatman in the 2, the points leader, starting to reel in Carter Russo in the 21. As out of 4, coming to lap 35 out of 75. The field's starting to get spread out here at USA. As Keatman now closing the gap to just above 0.2 of a second as they head into turns 3 and 4. Russo drifting up the track just a little bit. Mark Keatman in the 2, able to hold that bottom lane and get the good run off the corner. Keatman still just a little bit quicker than Carter Russo in the 21. And I have had my fair share of experience here at the USA International Speedway, and I can let you know firsthand that it is very easy to catch somebody, but it is definitely very hard to pass them if you are faster. You see Mark Keatman closing the gap right here, but it's going to be difficult to set up a pass with these long straightaways and short corners here at the USA International Speedway. Keatman falling off just a little bit that time by Carter Russo faster around the USA International Speedway. As you take a look at the field and how spread out they've gotten, Alex Sexton in the 3rd spot, kind of just holding his own. About a second and a half back from the leaders. About a second ahead of the cars in front of him. So Alex definitely a little bit slower than these lead guys, but he's got the speed to maintain his 3rd position. Out back contact, you saw Jimmy Gowker in the 10 around in turns 1 and 2. You saw him make contact with, I believe, the 99 of Cooper Ward. As we'll take a look at what happened right here. Gowker in the 2 on the bottom, Ward in the 99 up top. As Ward a little bit sideways off the corner, and oh, they just make hard contact. Gowker into the wall very, very hard. As Jimmy Gowker into the outside retaining wall very hard here on lap number 39. This is going to change everything for the battle for the lead, as Mark Keatman is going to line up side by side with Carter Russo in the 21. And those two are going to be going at it for the lead, surely, on this restart. As Caden Tufts in the 00 retiring from the event, letting us know in chat that it was unrepairable. You saw he took a very hard lick with that outside wall, and Jimmy Gauker in the 2 is probably going to be close to the same boat. You see a lot of damage on the R&B Car Company P1 Performance number 2, as he made some very hard contact with the outside wall. As he is in the pit area currently, Dustin Smith in the 33 brings it down the pit road, maybe looking for some tires. As he comes to a stop, we're going to take a look if he does indeed get tires. You see the right side of that race car coming up in the air. Dustin Smith down to the pits for tires on lap 42 out of 75. As Keatman and Russo down the back straightaway, the 2 points leaders. You also have Alex Sexton in the 9 in the 3rd spot. Who almost ducks into the pits, fakes everybody out behind him. His light's still on the iRacing.com pace car. Drew Chance in the number 2C, bringing the South Alabama Speedway JD Racing number 2 down in the pits. He'll pass the other 2 car of Jimmy Gauker en route to his pit box. We'll see if Drew Chance is getting damage fixed or tires on that car. So it looks like he is getting some of the damage repaired on the JD Racing number 2. We saw Drew go for a spin on the exit of turns 1 and 2, and he's picked up some damage since then. Folks in the chat, who's your pick to win? Will Carter Russo be able to hold off Mark Keatman as he's held off Alex Sexton in the previous restarts, or will Mark Keatman find something on that outside lane, be able to pick up the spot? We'll find out in a couple of quarters here as the lights are off on the iRacing.com pace car. We're going to be going green this time by. Caden Tufts saying Mark Keatman's going to pick up the checkered flag over Carter Russo. We're going to see on this restart here. Still a long way to go. 30 laps here at the USA International Speedway. The pace car pulls off of the track, and Russo goes. Keatman right there, but Russo able to get the big run down the front stretch into turns 1 and 2. Preston Boers in the 29, able to get to the outside of Alex Sexton. They're going to be side by side once again down the back straightaway. Sexton with the advantage as they go into turns 3 and 4. Boers looks like he backs out of it, slips in line just in front of the 21 of Daryl Mays. A little bit of contact made. Mays around, hard hit to the outside wall, also collecting Stephen Chun. But Daryl Mays going for a big slide into the outside retaining wall on the exit of turns 3 and 4. We'll take a look at what happened there. As you saw into turns 3 and 4, a little bit of contact made with the 29, and the 00 of Mike Ashby getting into the back of the 21 car, sending him into the outside wall, making contact with the 84 of Stephen Chun, along with the 28 car of Jesse Henderson. As Russo able to hold off Mark Keatman. For the meantime, they're side by side with each other down the back straightaway. back under yellow here at the USA International Speedway. Sexton able to hold off the 29 of Preston Boers on that restart, as I believe the field's going to be getting the 1 to go signal this time across the start finish line. As we'll see here as the pace car crosses the start finish line, the lights will go out and we will be going back to green next time by. Down to 9 cars on the racetrack. Stephen Chun in the 84 in the pits. I believe Daryl Mays and Drew Chance going to be joining the field as well. As there you see the 2C of Drew Chance popping into frame in the back. But the pace car lights are back on. Race control not happy with the lineup as it was. Going to give these guys an extra lap to sort the lineup out. We'll be going back to green next time by. As the lights do go off this time on the iRacing.com pace car, and we're going to be sending the field back to green. 10 cars on the racetrack right now. As it's going to be Keatman and Russo leading us to the green. Pace car pulls into the pits. Russo and Keatman side by side. Russo with another good jump. Keatman hanging back just a little bit. He's going to be able to clear the number 9 of Alex Sexton. Sexton going to have Preston Boers to his outside as they roll through turns 3 and 4. Daryl Mays joining the field once again. Kenneth Kucko in the 71 making a bid for the 4th spot underneath Preston Boers in the 29. Kucko slides up a little bit, tags the left rear. Preston Boers able to pick up the position off of the corner. Mike Ashby in the 00 looking for the spot as well. Ashby now side by side with the 29 of Preston Boers as they head down the back straightaway. He's going to be able to clear Boers as he's now in front of Dustin Smith in the 33. Kenneth Kucko into the 71, trying to pick up the 3rd spot from Alex Sexton now. Kucko in the 71 starting all the way back in the 14th spot. He finds himself in the 4th spot right now, trying to pick up the position on Alex Sexton in the 9. As you see the field head down the front straightaway, Kucko making some outside wall contact there. That's going to allow Mike Ashby to slip to the inside. Dustin Smith in the 33 also looking for the 5th spot as they head down the back straightaway. As Kucko sliding up quite a few lanes, that's going to allow Dustin Smith to slide to the inside. Around goes Preston Boers on the exit of turns 3 and 4, and that'll put us under caution once again. Is right there, you saw it. Jesse Henderson into the 28, 29 in front of him here. They get into the corner. It looks like Henderson just rolls the corner just a little bit better than Preston Boers. He makes some contact with the left rear tire of Preston Boers, and around went the Monster Energy number 29. Boers pulling the 29 machine into the pits after that one. as we are back under yellow once again at USA. As we are one lap to green here, it's going to be Carter Russo and Mark Keatman leading us to the stripe once again. Under 20 laps to go in this one. As it'll be Carter Russo and Mark Keatman leading us to the green here. 10 cars on the lead lap still, out of the 15 that started. Russo picks up the throttle. Mark Keatman able to get a better restart this time. Ashby to the outside of Alex Sexton for the third spot. Tucks in behind him as they roll through turns 1 and 2. Kenneth Kucko on the outside of Dustin Smith trying to fight back for the 5th spot. As Keatman into the back of Carter Russo, contact made going into the corner. Russo able to hang on for now. Sideways, both of them off of the corner. Mark Keatman getting spicy and dicey here on lap 60 out of 75. More contact between the 2 and the 21. Mark Keatman is ready to go. He has flipped the switch, and it is go time here at USA. Russo still able to hang on to the lead. More contact pushing Carter Russo off of the corner is Mark Keatman in the 2. Alex Sexton and Mike Ashby also right there in the battle for the lead. 4 cars under a blanket for the top spot. As they head into turns 3 and 4, Mark Keatman falling off of the 21's rear bumper just a little bit. Looks like he kind of closed the gap there through the center of the corner. You saw the 21 of Russo having to put in a little bit of wheel in the 21 machine to try and get it to turn down in the center. Keatman right there once again as they head down the back straightaway. Sexton still hanging on to the 3rd spot. As the top 2 starting to break away just a little bit here from Sexton and Ashby. As Ashby all over the back bumper of the number 9 for the 3rd spot. These two had problems last week. You remember at the North Wilkesboro Speedway going into the final corner, Ashby gave Alex Sexton the boot up the racetrack. Alex was going to finish 2nd, ended up in the 5th spot. I wonder if that is on either of these two's minds as they race approaching 10 to go. Mark Keatman now almost to the back bumper of Carter Russo. Alex Sexton closing in on the 2 of Keatman. As Dustin Smith moving to the inside of Mike Ashby for the 4th spot. Move Dustin Smith up into P4. Mark Keatman sliding up the racetrack just a little bit. As Alex Sexton, big contact with the outside wall. Sexton going around down the back straightaway. And the caution flag will fly with 10 laps to go. As we'll take another look here at the number 9 machine. From the graphics by WD Blimp Cam, we'll see right here. As this is coming out of turns 1 and 2, Alex clips the bottom of the apron there. It just gets a little bit too sideways and it chases it up the track trying to save it, and it ends up making contact with the outside retaining wall. So Alex Sexton from the 3rd spot is going to be going to the back after that one. Still up front is Carter Russo, has led every single lap in this one. Now, one thing that is helping the 21 of Russo is the restarts, that he is able to get a big jump on whoever is behind him. Mark Keatman, though, able to close the gap for the first few laps, but Russo picked it back up. So Russo definitely better as the run progresses, but Mark Keatman on the short run seems to have the speed, at least for now. But this is going to be a shorter run to the finish, as we are on lap 67 out of 75, just a handful of laps to go before we wave the checkered flag and crown a winner in the USA 75 here at USA. as the pace car lights are still on. Jesse Henderson in the 28 slipping into the the 5th spot. Henderson involved in a accident earlier. He's got a little bit of nose damage on the Triple H Racing graphics by WD number 28. As at the line right here, the lights are off on the iRacing.com pace car. And we're going to be coming to green to 7 laps to go here at USA. Folks in the stands, who is it going to be? Will Russo be able to hold off Mark Keatman, or will Mark Keatman be going to victory lane for the 3rd week in a row? We'll find out momentarily, as hopefully for the final time, the pace car is going to make its way down the back straightaway. It'll be Russo, Keatman, Smith, and Henderson leading us to the green. David Lux in the 0-4 popping up into the 6th spot. Is he going to have anything for these lead guys? As Keatman getting the nose out on Russo. Keatman doesn't get as good of a start. Russo is able to clear Keatman into turns 1 and 2. Dustin Smith slips into the 3rd spot in front of Mike Ashby in the 0-0. The top 4 single filed out. Here comes Jesse Henderson looking at the inside of David Lux for the 5th spot. Lux slamming the door. Up the racetrack goes Henderson. Maybe a little contact with Alex Sexton. The 9 and the 28 going to be side by side, coming to 5 laps to go here at USA. 5 to go for Carter Russo in the 21 machine. As Kenneth Kucko spinning down the back straightaway, it looks like the yellow flag will indeed come out here. As we'll take a look at what happened. To the Valvoline number 71 as they exited turns 1 and 2 right there. You see Kucko right behind Henderson and Sexton in their battle. It looks like he slides up just a little bit into the door of the 28 machine. And around goes the Valvoline number 71 down the back straightaway. And the caution flies once again here at USA. I believe that will set us up for a green-white checkered. As this should set us up for a green-white checkered, as I just said. I don't know the exact number of green-white checkers that the owners of this league give the drivers. Oftentimes, it is 3 or less, but we're going to have to find out here together at USA. We'll try to keep you guys updated as much as I can, and be in the know as much as you can. This will be a good day in points for both the 21 and the 2 car, but the problem is they are racing each other. So them finishing 1 and 2 is just going to make this championship battle closer heading into the final week at Nashville Fairgrounds. Make sure you guys tune in next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the conclusion of the 2022 Spring Series in the Mid-South iRacing Tour in the Super Late Model Division. It'll all come down to one race, and that'll be at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. One of my personal favorite racetracks, one of the best ones that we have on the iRacing.com simulator. As the field should be getting the 1-to-go signal this time as they roll through 3 and 4. And it will be a green-white checkered finish. These guys will have 2 laps to settle it out here at USA. Carter Russo has led this entire race so far. He has been able to get good restarts the whole time, and nobody has had anything for him so far. But will Mark Keatman in the Tomcat Performance number 2 be able to get the jump on Russo and make it interesting here in the final 2 laps? We're going to see here as they head down the back straightaway. Lights off on the iRacing.com pace car. As this is going to be it, folks. It's all down to one last restart, hopefully. And the pace car is going to pull off of the racing surface here at USA. Carter Russo able to get a big jump. Mark Keatman going to be the closest he's been so far, right there on the back bumper going into turns 1 and 2. Keatman and Russo going to be going for the lead contact. Keatman into the back bumper of Carter Russo. into turns 1 and 2 that time. Russo with a little bit of an advantage down the back straightaway. Here comes Mark Keatman closing to the bumper of Carter Russo. At the stripe, white flag is out. One more lap to go for the 21 of Carter Russo. Russo into one. He's got a small margin over Mark Keatman. The two cars going to drag race down the back straightaway. Russo with a comfortable advantage as they roll through turns 1 and 2. Or 3 and 4, sorry, out of 4. At the line, Carter Russo is going to win at USA. Mark Keatman crosses the line second, Dustin Smith third, Mike Ashby fourth, and Alex Sexton in the 9 going to round out the top 5. A great race there at the end between Mark Keatman and Carter Russo. Russo able to lead flag to flag all 75 laps here at the USA International Speedway. En route to his 3rd win of the season here in the Mid-South iRacing Tour. So, folks, we will be back in just a couple of moments. We'll get a word from our top 3 competitors. Congratulations to Carter Russo and team, picking up the victory, leading flag to flag, a dominating performance from the number 21 machine. And Carter Russo parks it into victory lane. But we will be right back in just a couple of moments for a word from our top 3. As ladies and gentlemen, we are back here on the WD Broadcasting Network. We're going to grab a word from our top 3 finishers, but I unfortunately don't see the 3rd place finisher, Dustin Smith, anywhere here in the voice chat. So we're going to jump up to our 2nd place finisher, Mark Keatman. Well, Mark, you ended up in the 2nd place spot tonight, coming from the 11th place spot on the grid. Definitely made your way through the field and pretty quickly. Just not enough green flag laps for you to get around Carter Russo and continue your winning streak here in the Mid-South iRacing Tour.
Yeah, definitely think my tires were gone by the time I finally got up there to them. Overall, a good night. Dodged the one wreck I was close to being involved in there early on. But like I said, overall, a good night. I just wanted to give a shout out to Mark Keatman Performance. Give us a like, follow us on Facebook. Congrats to Carter, who's my teammate. Like I said, overall, a good night.
Yeah, we saw you kind of laying the bumper to the back of the 21 machine, but in a very respectable way, you brought the MK Performance number 2 into the 2nd spot. And you already thanked all your sponsors, so I guess you were one step ahead of me there. But we will obviously see you back next week at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. It's going to be a close points battle between you and Carter Russo. What's your strategy going into the championship race?
Really just got to hope for a good finish. A win would definitely seal it up for us. But if I could run second, somehow maybe a hard charger or something to just seal up the points, that'd be awesome.
Alrighty, well, Mark Keatman with a pretty strong game plan heading into the last race of the season, picking up the second place finish here tonight, and we will talk to our winner now, Carter Russo. Carter Russo picking up the Fast Time Award and able to lead flag to flag here at the USA International Speedway. The MK Performance number 21 was definitely a rocket ship here tonight for you. Give us your thoughts and run through of how the race went for you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, definitely. I knew if I could get out front, it'd just be the matter of just keeping the tires underneath it, just not overdriving, hitting my marks, lap in, lap out. And I knew Mark had a long way to come from the back. You know, he started about I think it was like ninth or something, and I knew he'd probably burn his stuff up, either that or getting a wreck that wasn't his fault. Just had to know where to go, you know. But luckily, we were able to race it out there at the end. And it's just a lot of fun to be on a race with my team like that and be able to trust that he's not just going to flat out wreck me.
Yeah, we definitely saw some close racing with not a lot of contact there. Mark was right there behind you there for a couple of laps, beating your back bumper down, but he was able to do it cleanly and respectably came home in the second place spot. He obviously picking up the win here tonight, but on the bigger story, the points battle between you and Mark, we heard Mark's thoughts and strategies going into Nashville Fairgrounds, so let's hear what Mr. Russo has planned going into the final race of the season.
Yeah, I definitely gave it up last week, being 2 points out, and missing last week due to a real life opportunity to be able to go see the Smart Pool race down at Caraway and see somebody's racing that. Just real life is more important than the game. So I won the championship last year, and I figured it wouldn't be that big a deal as long as it was either me or Mark winning the championship this year. So yeah, just going in next week, just keep clean race, either win, qualify on pole and win, try to get as many points as we can, you know, and just not hope for the worst of Mark, but hope he doesn't have his best night. Just try and pull around him in points.
Alrighty, well, a somewhat underconfident Carter Russo, but he's definitely got a shot here in the next week at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. That is going to wrap it up here tonight for the Mid-South iRacing Tour. Thank you, folks, for tuning in to the WD Broadcasting Network and sticking it out through the many pace laps. But we will see you guys next week at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for the conclusion of the 2022 spring season. Hope everybody enjoyed watching, and everybody have a good rest of your week, and as always, take it easy.